well, fellas? Right. All right. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode number 17. Hope you guys are doing well on this Wednesday night. It is July 28th, 6:31 p.m. Hope you guys are doing extremely well. G'day to the chat. We got people rolling in from everywhere. We've got the Bundy chick in the chat. And how you going, Bundy chick? Go the Roosters on Thursday night. We got the loyal subscriber in Jimmy Miller who joined the Nick from Australia late night footy show over the weekend. So shout out to Jimmy. What a legend that bloke is. We got Warriors NRL fanatics in the chat as well. Unfortunately, couldn't join tonight, but hopefully we get him on again soon. We got a few people rolling in here at the moment. It's absolutely magnificent. People coming in from every single bloody angle. Unbelievable. Who else we got here? We got, Jesus Christ, the Bunny Chicken Warriors fanatics are destroying the chat. They're going berserk. Far out. Where's all the other people at? Other people should be here. Oh, here we go. Everyone's rolling in now. G'day, everyone. We got Sam Revel. How you going, Sam? Hope you're well, bro. Chamber videos in the house. Good luck to the Tigers on Friday night, mate, against the Warriors. That'll be a good game. G'day, Jason Reader. G'day, Jimmy Bosky. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. Tonight, we're joined by NRL Vid 090, as always, and special guest, Hold the Ball. So it's like this, how he does his intro, Hold the Ball.
That's it.
I find it funny. I really find that entertaining. But I want to say g'day to Hold the Ball, mate. How you going, bro? Thanks for jumping on tonight.
Yeah, look, thanks again. This is Hold the Ball, HTB. Look, thanks again for this opportunity. All is well, all is good, bro. Looking forward to tonight and some interesting discussions up ahead, bro.
Oh, you're not wrong. We're talking in the green room before the start, and there's a few things that we need to talk about tonight. There's a lot of things going on at the moment in the world of NRL and rugby league in general, but NRL Vid 090. How are you, bro? It's good to see you. How you going, bro?
Yeah, no, not too bad. I mean, still in lockdown, which is not fun, but I think it's always good to be on the podcast every Wednesday, and especially joined by Hold the Ball. It's good to have him on. So yeah, I'm keen to get into it.
Well, it's good to have Hold the Ball on tonight. Hold the Ball is doing a very good job on YouTube at the moment. Make sure you guys go and check out Hold the Ball on YouTube. Go and give that man a subscribe. Go onto that channel right now and press that subscribe button. Because if you don't subscribe to him, there's something wrong with you. You need to go and get yourself checked out by a doctor if you don't go and subscribe to Hold the Ball. Go and check out his channel for crying out loud. Smash that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on. Otherwise, you're taking the piss. But yeah, we've got a few things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the James Roberts, how he breached the COVID bubble restrictions. We're also going to talk about Paul Vaughan signing with the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. We're going to talk about the Rugby League World Cup. Jason Taumalolo is committed to playing for Tonga in the World Cup. Also, a few NRL players want to play in the World Cup as well. Obviously, the NRL have said something else, so the players in the NRL have a different opinion on that. We're going to talk about the career of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. How will you remember RTS at the Warriors or the Roosters? And the Broncos are refusing to let go of Xavier Coates to Melbourne. And CSC Takiaho could be a free agent very soon if the Roosters can't come up with the salary cap money. But, yeah, we've got a few things to talk about tonight, lads. It's going to be a good one. But what we're going to do, before we start, we're going to give you guys about 20 to 30 seconds for more people to get on to jump in here, and we'll get into the show. So, guys, we're back in about 20 seconds. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's rip in. All right, everyone knows what goes on now. Let's get into the show, for crying out loud. We've got about 12 to 15 people here at the moment, something like that. The chat keeps changing as we speak. Topic number 5. Let's rip into it, fellas. James Roberts, the West Tigers centre/winger. He's broken the COVID rules. It's a very, very interesting situation that's going on there. Apparently, he went to his missus' hotel, went onto the balcony or something, broke down the gaffer tape, which I found absolutely hilarious. But, James Roberts is in a little bit of trouble. He's copping a 1-week suspension. I think the fine was about $7,000 or something. We're going to start with Hold the Ball. Mate, what are your thoughts on this whole James Roberts breaking the COVID rules situation?
Yeah, look, my sort of initial understanding was that apparently there was rumors floating around that he was going to be sort of kicked for the season, but I think the NRL sort of held back on that and obviously gave him the fine as well as the 1-week ban. Look, my thoughts about it, obviously, again, rules are rules, right? I'm hearing rumors of mental health, right, is the reason why he did it. Again, not too sure, but again, rules are rules. Now, I understand we all go through some tough times, but again, the NRL have moved heaven and earth for this to actually work, for players, again, to follow the rules and the restrictions. And I suppose it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, in my opinion. Rules are rules, and they're made to be followed, especially in this situation.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And, James Roberts, at the moment, having a little bit of a few issues, which is understandable, but you got to remember as well, teams like the Warriors, they would be struggling a lot harder than what James Roberts would be. So I think it comes down to mental toughness. Everyone's got their own issues and everyone's different when it comes to that situation. But look at the Warriors; they haven't been home for about almost 2 years. So it comes down to mental toughness. It comes down to the culture of the club, and with the way the West Tigers have gone since 2011. I don't think they have that mental toughness. I don't think they have that that mentality of being a consistent side. And, the Warriors can probably say the same thing. They're very up and down, but it comes down to the club. It comes down to culture. And James Roberts he's made a huge mistake, and he has to cop the punishment that happens to him. But NRL Vid 090, mate, I saw you the other day on the Fantastic Rugby League show. Mate, you gave the West Tigers fans an absolute gobful. You gave them a huge, huge spray. Now, I know you're not a big fan of the West Tigers, but, mate, what do you think about the West Tigers playing now and James Roberts breaking the COVID rules?
Oh, look, I mean, I'll be honest. He needs to stop being so selfish, I think, because, rules are rules. You got to, abide by them. I mean, look, personally, the rules are pretty stupid because I don't think, I don't agree with having to tape your doors lead to the balcony. I feel like that's a bit over the top because it's not really a health. That has nothing to do with really COVID, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, that's just their opinion, but I don't like the how they have to do that. But look, even though you're not supposed to do it, and I don't have a big problem with Roberts doing it, still he puts the competition in jeopardy by doing that. So he needs to He really needs to stop being selfish, and because other people do it too. So you can't be someone that has to be special and go ahead of their way, do whatever, because that's not how it works. So be a bit better than that,
Yeah. Look, my opinion on it. Obviously, he made a mistake. He made a really, really stupid mistake. But here's the thing: if I was in a hotel room and if I had to quarantine. And I had to gaffer tape my goddamn door every night. I couldn't go out on the fucking balcony. I would probably do what James Roberts did as well, so I can relate to that. You put me in quarantine for 14 days, I wouldn't last too. I'd jump out the window with a rope. I wouldn't last. So I understand. Oh, shit, something's happened there. Hold the ball. What the heck happened there? I don't know what's happened there, but he's gone on mute for a minute. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. But look, I think with James Roberts, look, I can understand where he's coming from here, look. But, again, he's broken the NRL rules. He'll be back, bro. Bosky, he told me that he was going to be out for a second and he will be back. So, Hold the Ball will be back on the show. But, look, the problem is with Roberts, he has made a mistake. he has stuffed up here, and he has to cop the fine. He has to cop the 1 week suspension, but there isn't much in it. I don't think what he did was as bad as what the other guys did. I don't think what he did was as bad as what. Here he is. Hold the balls back. All good. I don't think what James Roberts did was as bad as what Jairo did, or Appy Cottersale, or Paul Vaughan. So look, he'll cop the fine, the 1 week suspension, and he'll move on. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But the NRL players were warned before they went up to Queensland for this whole situation. If you are not going to be able to handle this quarantine, obviously some players will just get on with it. Some players might not be able to do it because of, personal reasons. Then maybe he shouldn't have went up there. Maybe he shouldn't have went. Maybe he shouldn't have went up to Queensland. So it's another situation where it's very bad. But what can you do? Do you guys agree with the fine? Hold the ball. I'll start with you. Do you guys agree with the fine?
Look, I mean, yeah. Look, there's probably been worse situations than that, right? So I guess for what he's done. We've seen $30,000 fines being thrown around, 35, more recently. I think for what he's done, that's fair enough. Again, remembering that you could potentially put the NRL at risk of being kicked out, right? So the fine, considering, look, it's better than being banned for a year, I guess, so for the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, NRL Vid 090? Do you think the fine is good, or do you think maybe a little bit over the top, or maybe should he have got a bigger fine? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's fair enough. I think, like Hull said, he put the comedy, so I feel like that fine he did cop was fair enough, and I think from there and just accept it, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, where it's very black and white. The rules are the rules, and he broke the rules. Even though I don't think he did much, all he did was he went and saw his missus, and it was on the balcony. I mean, that's all he did. So I wonder what that other dumb bitch, what's her name, Jeanette Young, has to say about it. The stupid bitch. She thinks she runs Queensland. Dumb idiot. Anyway, we'll move on. Topic number 4, fellas. Paul Vaughan. He has signed with the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. We spoke about this last week, I believe it was. Will Paul Vaughan get a contract before the end of the year? I said he would, because if they got an NRL club before the end of the year, then his suspension, he can cop that now and play next year. So smart from the Bulldogs. Paul Vaughan signed with the Dogs. We'll start with you, Hold the Ball. Do you think this is a great signing for the Dogs?
Look, it's quite clear to me that the Dogs have a, win at all costs sort of approach to this, right? It's not about what he's done. It's about what he can do for them, for the club. Obviously, if they put into context, for me personally, I feel, look, it's a good signing for the Bulldogs. Obviously, I'd like to see probably more. I don't know. I just feel like, after what he's done, for him to be accepted again is probably my only issue. However, in saying that, like I said, the only thing that matters really at the end is lifting up that premiership. So I guess they've gone that approach. It's a good signing. They've got really good players coming in next year. Obviously, we know David Tabangai Jr. as well will be in there next year as well. Then they've got Edo Carr, Burton, and so on and so forth, right? And Kotrick to come as well. They're definitely building a unit there. Definitely a good team for next year. But look, overall, fair enough. It's definitely more championship approach as opposed to anything else. So yeah, good signing.
Yeah. What about you, NRL Vid 090? Are you a fan of the Bulldogs signing Paul Vaughan?
Yeah, I am actually. I think Paul Vaughan is a quality player, and I think he's obviously played for his state, and I think he played for I think he played for Australia before as well.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
did.
representing Italy, which is nice. So look, he's a talented player with a lot of experience. I think he goes about business pretty well in terms of footy. I mean, there's too many people out there who look on the bad side of Paul Vaughan, but when you're talking just that sort of relation on, he's definitely a really good player, and I think he will be good for the forward pack, and I think he'll really benefit going to the club because we have Duffy around him, we have Luke Thompson in the forward around him, Josh Jackson. So he's got some real leaders in that forward pack that can really help him. So I think it's a good signing overall for that club, and yeah, it should work well, I think.
I'll tell you what, This is the Gus Gould magic. Gus Gould magic. This is what this is. This is a brilliant signing. Absolute genius. Gus Gould would have came into the Bulldogs through the week and he would have went, right, we're going to have to make some big changes around here. And he would have went, righto, Paul Vaughan's on the market. We need to sign another front row to help Luke Thompson. Pangai Jr. is coming next year. Josh Jackson's experience, great leadership. You got Fatala Mariner, a strike back rower. Adam Elliott, back rower / bench player. Hetherington as well. Ogden's a good young player coming through. They've got some very, very good young forwards coming through there, the Bulldogs. But what I will say about the Bulldogs, before Paul Vaughan had his little barbecue and got fired by the Dragons, Paul Vaughan, in my opinion, was in the top 10 front rowers in the game. He was on the cusp of state of origin footy. I thought he was playing outstanding footy. Didn't get the jersey for New South Wales, unfortunately, but he was playing some great footy for the Dragons. He was leading by example. Obviously made a dumb mistake with that barbecue, which is something that I'm sure he wants to forget. But Gus Gould, he loves to take a risk. He knows what he's doing. Get Paul Vaughan in there. I mean, you're surrounding him with the blokes, the likes of Josh Jackson, experience, leadership, I think the Bulldogs will absolutely suit Paul Vaughan to the moon, and it could be the buy of the year next year if the Bulldogs go well. It really could be. Now, look, there are a few issues off the field. We had that barbecue, and he broke the COVID rules. I think it was last year as well. So he has had a few issues in the past, but if you give him a little bit of a rule where he's got to follow these rules and, be honest with Gus, just listen to Gus. Gus will be able to fix this whole situation up. So I'm glad the Bulldogs have picked him up. I really am. Unfortunately, my bloody boys couldn't sign him. But Paul Vaughan to the Dogs, man, great signing. And the Dogs, as much as people might not like them, some may love them, the Dogs are on the up, fellas. No matter what you guys think, the Dogs are coming next year. They are looking very, very good. So keep an eye on Canterbury next year. They're on the up, I'll tell you. Do you guys think there will be issues with Paul Vaughan at the Dogs, or do you think with Gus there, things will be a lot better?
Yeah, I think I'll just take this one here. Look,
yep.
I think he'll fit in well, as you said, it's that Gus magic, right? So it'll be all good. The boys will gel, Edokar and all that stuff next year, man. We can all sort of sit here and look at where they are this year, but I think next year, as you said, you touched on it, they're going to be a completely different team, and I think they're going to be one to watch because look, I think they're definitely going to do something. Gus Gould has a plan up his sleeve, don't you worry. So yeah,
all the Bulldogs need is a hooker. If they can get a number 9, a decent one on the market, they will be looking like a good top 8 side. Now everyone talks about the halves. Look, I think Averillo at 6, Burton at 7 is absolutely fine. Averillo's proven this year that he can actually do a job in the halves. And you got Kyle Flanagan there as well, looming around. Brendan Wakeham as the backup as well, because Lockie Lewis has been told that he's not wanted next year. So you've got some depth there in Wakeham and Flanagan who can come in and play the odd game or two in the halves in case of injury or anything or something. And, we all talk about Paul Vaughan being a good signing for him. But I'm telling you right now, Matt Duffy for the Bulldogs is going to be absolutely huge. He brings so much in attack. He's probably their most important buy because he's going to add so much to their attack. And if he isn't playing fullback one game, the Bulldogs are a 14-point worse side. They're worse without him. So if Duffy's there next year at fullback and he's doing things, the Bulldogs are a 18 to 20-point better team. When he's not there, they're probably an 8 to 12-point side at best. So we'll see how they go. But NRL Vid 090, anything else about Paul Vaughan? Do you think there's any negative thing about Paul Vaughan going to the Dogs at all?
Oh, not really. Not really. It's Bulldogs related as well. I mean, people are saying next year they should have Matt Burton at 6 and Kyle Flanagan at 7. With Averillo being in the centres now. As much as people think Averillo might go well in the centres, I don't think so. I think he won't go well in the centre. I think he's a centre, Averillo. I think he's the best. I just don't think centres personally. I think Shop, who I really like as a player, and Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Avrilo should be at jersey 4 next year. I mean, it's with Burton and Flanagan's the halves. Maybe just put, I guess, Avrilo as that jersey 14, or even just, I don't know. I think he's a half at best. That's what I'm going to say, not a centre.
Yeah, fair point. But look, I think with Avarillo, I think he's proving that he is a good number 6 or it's number 7. I think he's a number 6. I think Matt Burton should be the halfback for the Dogs next year. They are looking really good, but with that back line, bro, I've had a good think about it. This is what I would do if I was the Bulldogs. I'd go fullback, Dufty, wingers, Josh Adokar, Jade Knockenball, centers, Nick Kotrick, Brent Naden, halves, Avarillo, Burton. That's what I would do. I think that would be a really good back line in halves. Front row, I'll probably go with Paul Vaughan, Luke Thompson, Marshall King at number 9, back row, Pangai Jr. for Tyler Mariner, and Josh Jackson at lock, and also as captain on the bench. Maybe something like, I don't know, Brendan Wakeham, Jack Everington, Adam Elliott, and maybe Ogden. They're building, bro. Like, they are looking like a top 8 team next year, the Bulldogs. I don't know if they will be. I don't know if they'll be a top 8 side, but they're looking like they're going to be one of those teams between 7 and 11, fighting for those top 8 spots. But we'll see how they go. But hold the ball. Do you think the Bulldogs can make the 8 next year? Obviously, this year they're going to be last or second last. But with all the signings, all the new combinations, do you think next year that they can be a top 8 side?
Look, realistically, looking at the signings, you'd argue a point that they could. Obviously, again, it just all sort of depends. I mean, we can all sort of sit here and guess, and I'd like to see him do well, obviously. But in saying that, do I see him? Yeah, I think I do. But in saying that,
you don't as well.
I want to watch and see how they go. I want to see how that chemistry goes because, again, you've got some really stacked players, but we've all seen some stacked teams before, and they just haven't worked out. And case in point, my Warriors. So
combinations are very important.
Yeah, so we'll just see how that chemistry combination things work. But they should be.
They should improve. They really should. If the Bulldogs next year finish any lower than 11th, it would be a failure.
That's
so, if the Bulldogs don't make the 8 next year, or if they don't finish in the top 11, Trent Barrett will be in a lot of trouble. He'll be very nervous next year because Gus Gill's the sort of bloke where if he thinks the Ross is good enough for top 8 and it doesn't go well, then the coach is under enormous pressure. So we'll see how the Bulldogs go next year, and their signings are coming along very nicely. But we'll move on to topic number 3. Jason Taumalolo. He is apparently committed to Tonga, and some of the NRL players, such as Christian Welsh, apparently would like to participate in the Rugby League World Cup. Now, hold the ball. We spoke about this in the green room. You know a bit more than this about. More about this than I do. So the NRL players do want to be in the World Cup, do they?
Yes, yeah, that's right. So the Rugby League Players Association, so that Welsh is part of. Sorry, they've said that they've talked amongst themselves, especially the NRL boys at the Storm, and they're actually pretty devastated. Those who can represent New Zealand, Australia, that they can't actually participate. So obviously, seeing someone like Taumalolo, whose country, Tonga, have actually committed or are going to commit to the World Cup, it's probably you feel a bit, bummed out that you can't be part of it. So Taumalolo has committed, and on top of that as well, he's actually encouraged other players. For example, you've got Trbojevic, the brothers there who've got Serbian descent, so he's encouraged players of different descent to actually join other teams, that they normally wouldn't. And again, saying that as well, obviously, you'd probably think that a USA and Serbia or whoever will probably take over Australia and New Zealand. But again, that's sort of like the sort of, feel at the moment. The players who can't participate want to play, and those who can, well, they're ready to rock and roll. So,
before we get into NRL Vid 090, just a quick shout out to Golden Anime. He has donated $5 via Super Chat. In the chat, he says, Nick, can you tell me where I can download StreamYard so I can appear on your stream sometime? So basically, Golden Anime, go onto your laptop or your mobile phone, top up StreamYard, download StreamYard, and what I can do, if you want to come on the Nick from Australia Late Night Footy Show on Saturday night, I will send you the link via Instagram, and all you got to do is press on the link, and then it comes up on the screen, and then I invite you into the show, and bang, you're on the show. So just download it on Google, bro, or on your phone or your iPad or whatever you got, tablet, whatever it may be. So it's pretty easy, bro. And, mate, thank you for the $5 donation. Much appreciated, bro. Also, want to mention real quick as well, if you guys in the chat would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. Super Chat is active on YouTube as we speak. Also, there is PayPal in the description below. PayPal is the preferred option because PayPal, the money that you donate goes to my account straight away. If you do it on the Super Chat, it takes about a month until I normally get it because I get paid every month from YouTube. So PayPal would be the preferred option if you want to donate to the channel, but feel free to do so if you'd like. But well, NRL Vid 090, mate. What do you think about this whole Rugby League World Cup thing? Tamalolo coming into Tonga, Christian Welsh and other NRL players want to participate for other countries, mate. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Yeah, well, I guess they want to participate still, just to represent New Zealand or Australia because they pulled out. I think it's good actually because, for example, I'd be supporting Italy if they're in the World Cup, and obviously players like James Tedesco, who has an Italian background, he probably more likely to play for Australia. But if he plays for Italy, that'd be very good as well. And yeah, I think Jake and Tom, which they're mainly going to probably represent Australia. But if Serbia is qualifying, then yeah, they can just go to them. So I think it's a good idea still because we've still got these good players in the World Cup, and I feel like it makes it just a bit more entertaining having those sort of players in the game, despite being not Australia or New Zealand. So I think it's fine personally. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I want to say to this. Now, if everyone around the world in all these sporting events can travel to goddamn Tokyo to participate in the Olympics, and why are the NRL so goddamn scared to go to bloody England, where this week 100% capacity will be allowed in attendance? Now, tomorrow morning at 4:45 a.m. on Fox or KO, it's Wigan versus Warrington in the Super League. I will be getting up to watch that game at 4:45 a.m. So for crying out loud, if people can go to the goddamn Olympics from around the world, then there is absolutely no reason why players can't go to England for the Rugby League World Cup. Now, if they're worried about getting the jab, you got to be kidding me. There is so much more worse things in the world than being scared of a needle. Now, whether you want to have the jab or not is completely up to you, and it's a different topic for another time. But, my God, people are going to the goddamn Olympics in Tokyo from places like Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, God knows, all over the bloody world. Japan, France, Ireland, wherever they go, Italy, wherever they're going. So, come on, man. England is the team I'll be supporting in the Rugby League World Cup. I have England background, and I'm pretty tired of Australia winning all the time. So I've jumped ship to go for England. I'm not just jumping on England because Australia are too good. I just love England. I've got a background with England, and I'll be supporting England in the Rugby League World Cup. So come on, you England. But hopefully he goes ahead, and Christian Welsh, hopefully he can, and Tamalolo, hopefully they can convince other players to jump in. I want to see James Tedesco play for Italy. I want to see the Tebo brothers play. I want to see all these players play. And the NRL are so worried about, but the gun players that go to the World Cup are going to have a shorter preseason. It's probably going to be better for them to have a shorter preseason. These long preseasons destroy players. Have a look at it. Players do their preseason training. By the time you get to round 23, round 24, players are drained out. I mean, can you imagine the likes of Tedesco and Cleary and Cherry Evans and all these sort of players? They've been training since November, and then by the time it hits September, finals time, they're gassed. And if I played Origin during the middle part of the year, I got no stamina left. So I don't want to be hearing about anything about disrupting preseason because I call bullshit on that. I call absolute bullshit on that. But Come on, man. The Rugby League World Cup needs to happen. It's so important. It's going to be hard for it to happen next year because I think they've got the soccer World Cup. Not soccer. Is it soccer World Cup next year in rugby union as well?
Rugby Union 2023, but soccer next year. Yep. Football.
Soccer next year. Good luck competing with that. I mean, that's just impossible. I'm just having a quick look at the odds for the Rugby League World Cup, if it's on here. Well, apparently it's not on here now. Fair income. Well, Sportsbet took down the Rugby League World Cup stuff, did they? Wankers. Anyway. But yeah, I hope it goes ahead. I really do. But, if you're going to have the Olympics happen in Tokyo, then there's absolutely no reason for the Rugby League World Cup to happen in England. Come on, man. Stop with the excuses. Let them go, for fuck's sake. Anything else you guys want to top one about this one?
Yeah, look, just quickly as well. So there was actually a 72-page reported document as well that the Rugby League World Cup had actually given and shown the guys there, the nations participating. And apparently it wasn't good enough for the Kiwis or the Kangaroos, basically stating rules that, they won't be doing this, doing that in England, staying away from the COVID stuff. So it was actually strict procedures that were going to be followed. And on top of that as well, it's actually all paid for. It's all paid for. The players get paid, the flights, accommodation, everything is paid for. There is no excuses for you to go there. And on top of that as well, look, just to take some of that passion that you have as well, the Rugby League World Cup, International Rugby League, that is in my opinion, might be a bit controversial, but that is my opinion, the pinnacle of rugby league. And the way for it to grow, the way for the game to grow is to actually showcase your talent. So as in our vids talked about before, Tedesco going to Italy, Trbojevic brothers, so on and so forth. It is so important that these players stand up and make a stand. And players like Welsh and stuff like that, those guys there who want to play, that they need to win this battle. They need to win this fight because, at the end of the day, you can even see that they want to play. And if they want to play, then it's, it's telling you something. So, yeah, rugby league, let's do it. Looking forward to the World Cup.
And our vid 090, anything else you want to talk about on the Rugby League World Cup?
No, I just agree with hold the ball. I think if players want to keep playing and, they want to keep playing, for like other, I guess, countries they can represent, then so to happen, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. He's 100% on the money with this one. Let's move on. Topic number 2. Let's discuss this. This is a very sad one. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is leaving us right now. I think he's getting on the plane. I think it's tomorrow, I believe it was. Thursday he's getting on the plane.
Yeah, Thursday. Yep.
And he's going back to New Zealand, I believe. Is that right, New Zealand? Is that where he's going? Back to New Zealand. Yep. He's going back now because of the borders restrictions. By the looks of it, the border is going to be shut again in New Zealand. And the Warriors pretty much can't make the finals now. So he's pretty much going to leave us right now. But he's had an incredible career at the Warriors and the Roosters. Won a grand final for the Roosters in 2013 on the wing as a young player coming through. Went to the Warriors. Won the 2018 Dally M medal, which was absolutely magnificent. It's so sad that he has to leave us. But we'll start with you, Hold the Ball. As you're a passionate Warriors fan and a big fan of RTS yourself, how will you remember the career of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck?
Yeah, look, first things first, just absolutely devastated about the news. He came into the team in 2016 after, being with the Roosters, and I was just, full of joy, full of happiness, full of hope something was going to happen. And it did. I mean, obviously, he didn't achieve what he wanted, but, to win Dally M and Captain of the Year last year, those are things that he can be proud of. The way I remember him personally is someone who took us through the bad times. And even last year, right, when unfortunately a lot of the players, for obvious reason, wanted to go home, he stuck by the team when he hadn't seen his kids or his missus, And that to me sort of signifies and it stands on what he is as a player. And I'm going to miss him, It's going to be tough sort of looking at a future without him, but that's the way it goes. But I'll just remember him as being a very incredible leader, especially during this time too as well. We haven't been going for a really good patch at all, and he stood up every single time as a captain. But look, saying that, I definitely wish him all the best in his next chapter, and he's definitely left a huge shoe to fill that I don't think will be filled. So yeah, thank you, Roger.
NRL Vid 090, how will you remember the career of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck?
Oh, look, I've always loved RTS as a player. I think he's been very special, especially gifted as a player in the NRL. I think he's he's done really well. I think he's had a pretty fair career, which he should be proud of. Obviously, he's won a premiership at the Roosters back in 2013. He's played for New Zealand. He's won the Dally M medal, obviously, in 2018. So, look, I think it's been a very good career for RTS. He's been very loyal. Obviously, times with the Warriors, he's been there. And as a captain, when he was the captain there, obviously, he really took the team, really carried the team, really helped them get through it. And no, he's a great player, RTS. I will miss him because I think he was good for the game and also very good for the Warriors. And no, I think he's someone that just brought fans to the game. Actually, RTS, just the way he played. I think he was someone that obviously a lot of people looked up to because entertaining player, great sidestepping him, and he's just a really. So I'll miss him, and yeah, thanks, memories, Roger.
Yeah, look, I will remember Roger Tuivasa-Sheck as an incredible leader for the Vodafone Warriors. He was absolutely outstanding. He was a consistent leader, a consistent player in general. He was always in the top 5 fullbacks in the competition. A lot of people used to question Tuivasa-Sheck. Is he a top 5 fullback? I believe he's always been a top 5 fullback. His qualities have always been very good. He's led by example with his teammates around him. And, if the Warriors are getting pumped 40-0, he's always encouraging the players to, come on, let's go out there next set. Let's defend it. Let's get the ball. Let's try and crack the opposition open. So, as a player, and as a career, all the kids look up to him. And Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has had a fantastic career at the Warriors, and he also did well at the Roosters as well, winning a grand final there on the wing in 2013. And, I will remember Tuivasa-Sheck as a fantastic player and a great leader and an inspiration for all the young kids out there who want to go to the footy and watch RTS play, and the kids who want to be Tuivasa-Sheck when they play footy on the weekends. So, and RTS, he's done an incredible job with with rugby league in general. He's just led by example, and he has done so much for the community, and he's made New Zealand rugby league even bigger than what it once was. So, thank you to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on an incredible NRL career at the Roosters and the Warriors, and he is going to rugby union, which I think is a disgusting thing to do, but I think he will be back eventually. I really do believe he'll be back. We've all seen players who go from rugby league to rugby union in the past, and eventually they all come back, the likes of Ben Teo, Sonny Bill Williams, Israel Folau. They all come back eventually, whether it be NRL, Super League, or rugby league in general. They all come back eventually. So all the best to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in his next journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. But what I want to say on this Tuivasa-Sheck topic as well, that disgusting, filthy, dirty Paul Kent. You disgusting motherfucker. Paul Kent. You should change your name to Paul Cunt. That's what I think you should do. Now, what Paul Kent said on NRL 360 the other day absolutely infuriated me. I was this close to doing a video on this, but I decided I'll let the Warriors fans go off first, and in particular, Warriors NRL fanatics. He did a rant on this video about this the other day, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So shout out to Warriors NRL fanatics for sticking up for Tuivasa-Sheck and the entire rugby league community in New Zealand and all the Warriors fans. But Paul Cunt, or what I should say, Paul Kent, sitting there on 360 on, Monday night, I think it was, sitting there with that other fat fuck, Yvonne Sampson, sitting there with that other moron, who was at Buzz Rothfield, should be down at fucking Centrelink, applying for the age pension, those arseholes. Now, Paul Kent said this, allowing their skipper to walk out to give his union career a head start sends a bad message to fans and sponsors. I think he should have stayed for the rest of the year. What's he getting paid? $1 million? He broke the contract to sign with Rugby Union, Kent told NRL 360. And then he goes on to say this. Soldiers get deployed overseas for 6 months. He's getting paid $1 million a year. and he can't sit out 6 weeks. What it says on the Warriors have put the Q on the rack. So any Warriors fans, you know what? They've given up any hopes of finals and they've just let our player go. Okay. First thing I want to say, Paul Kent, don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare compare Roger Tuivasa-Sheck leaving right now to fucking soldiers. You disgusting prick. Go put your head in a fucking toilet and press the fucking button and fucking put your head in there. You absolute idiot. And then he goes on to say, Warriors fans have given up hope on finals. They can't make it anyway. They need results to go their way, and they have to win every single game to make it. So they can't make it anyway, you dumb fuck. And, you know, what's the other thing? Breaking contract, going home early. Paul Kent, if you were in Queensland and you wanted to go home early because you were homesick, you would go home early too, you prick. So don't go fucking saying that. And finally, Paul Kent, in my opinion, he is a consistent disease to rugby league. He goes on there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night on Fox Sports. He does his show with Vaughan. He's a disgusting human being. He's sick in the head, terrible journalist. He thinks he's the boss of the NRL. He has no idea what he's doing. I haven't seen Paul Kent say one thing positive on that show in about 3 or 4 years. He's a disease to the game in general. And Paul Kent needs to wake the fuck up and understand that players are going to struggle being away from their homes for fucking 2 years. Can you imagine NRL journalists being stuck in a Queensland bubble for fucking 2 years like the Warriors have had to go through the last 2 years? They wouldn't last 2 weeks. They would not last 2 weeks. So, Paul Kent, I'm sick of you, mate. We're all sick of your shit, and I believe if there was a petition going around right now for Paul Kent to get off television, you would see a lot of signatures. I would be the first one to sign it. So, Paul Kent, go get fucked, and I hope you trip over your shoe and roll your ankle, you piece of shit. Anyway, let's move on from that because Paul Kent just knows how to piss people off. Anyway, catch my breath doing that. I hope all you Warriors fans out there that are watching this show, I hope you guys really appreciate that as well because not many people have the balls to come on here and say stuff like I just did. So I hope you guys are all appreciated that, all you Warriors fans out there and rugby league fans in general. But we'll move on. Topic number one. The last topic I want to talk about, well, there's two things here I want to talk about in general. The Brisbane Broncos, they are apparently refusing to let Xavier Coates go to the Melbourne Storm early. This is a very interesting situation. I want to go to you, NRL Bid 090. Should the Broncos refuse to let Xavier Coates go to the Storm early?
Yeah, they should. I think Xavier Coates, you know, he needs to. I mean, this thing is, the Storm don't need any backs because obviously, if the Storm want to get Xavier Coates, has to be on like a loan deal. But you know, he's obviously going to contract the Broncos still. He has to like see it out, and you know, it's not. This isn't. You know, game should be. I mean, players just can't like leave their contracts in the middle of the season and go to another club. I mean, that's not how the game is, in my opinion. Because they stand firm on Xavier Coates, and they need to, you know, tell him to, you know, wait the last 5 weeks of the season. Then after that, you can go and I guess go to the Storm already and piss off. I guess that's what the Broncos want to say. But you know, the Broncos just needs to be hard on him. I mean, I don't know if Xavier Coates wants to go to the Storm early. He probably does because I guess, you know, he's been dropped by the Broncos, not getting game time, it looks like. So, yeah, I think just need to stay loyal, stand firm on him, and, yeah, don't go easy on Coates.
What about you, Hold the Ball? Do you think Xavier Coates should be allowed to go to the Storm early or no?
Look, I'm just going to be upfront. I'm not a fan of the Storm, so hopefully the Broncos keep him. The Storm just seems to be getting richer and richer as the years go by, I think. But look, yeah, look, I think personally, look, just stick with the Broncos, and I'm pretty sure the Broncos would be pretty, you know, pretty probably not really happy with what's happening with the Storm trying to interfere there. There's probably a lot of chat that we don't know about that's happening anyway. But generally speaking, for myself, look, obviously he's not being used. That's the reality. But in saying that, there is a contract there. And look, anything to prevent the Storm from getting good players. So we all know that when he goes to the Storm, we're going to be talking about, Xavier Coates for quite some time. We know this. When he goes there, he's going to be one of the best players. So, no, keep him at the Broncos for as long as possible.
I can understand both parties here because one, like you got Melbourne who are trying to get Xavier Coates early to try and win that premiership and all that situation. And the Broncos' argument would be, well, no, he's with us till next year. We don't want to let him go early, even though we're not using him. So I can understand both parties here. But look, it's one of those things where he's not getting a game. NRL Vid 090 is just fixing up his connection, so I'm sure he'll be back in a second. I can understand where both sides are coming from here. Like if you look at Brisbane, they're trying to, obviously trying to make Xavier Coates punish. Like, hey, look, you're going to Melbourne next year. We don't want to use you now, but we're not going to let you go early because if you go win a premiership now, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's bullshit. So I understand where they're coming from, I guess, and the Storm, they want to try and get him. It's an ugly situation. Personally, I'd let him go now because I just don't think it's fair leaving him in Queensland. Oh, there's no Queensland Cup at the minute, is there? Is that going Queensland Cup? I don't even know if it's going. I've got no idea. But I don't know, man. I understand where he's coming from. I really do. But it's one of those things where I think it could go. Oh, he's in our Vid 09s, bros. But look, I can see both sides' argument here. There's not really much to say about this, but if he goes early, then fair enough. But if he doesn't, then I can see where the Broncos are coming from there. I don't really have much of a take on it, but it is what it is, I guess. And the final topic before we preview the round of footy, Siwa Takiaho. Now, I only heard about this last night, and apparently the Roosters are going to have a bit of trouble re-signing Siwa Takiaho. He could be on the market as of November, I think, for 2023. Do you think Siwa Takiaho would be a good buy for any club? What do you think about this one? Hold the ball.
Look, Siwa Takiaho, he'll be a good buy for any club, especially clubs that need a forward. I can look at your team, for example. He'll definitely gel well as well. Him and Tamalolo have that connection already, so there's chemistry there, and I'm sure you're probably brimming at that chance to have that happen. Even for Manly, any team that will get him, I think he's got that experience. He's got that championship experience. He's won 3. Let's be honest now, he's a high caliber sort of player. I think Takiaho will be a good buy for any club. And obviously things are happening in the Roosters, as you mentioned as well, which probably affect him being there at the moment, salary cap wise. But hey, you'd be stupid to wait on him if he's a free agent. That's the reality there. So yeah, he'll be good.
What about you, NRL Vid 090? Do you think Siwa Takiaho would be a good signing if he's on the market?
Oh yeah, I mean he has to be because isn't he like a top 5 front row at least? So you have to think so, obviously, because of his quality he brings to every game he plays. So no doubt about that. I mean, he'd be good for the Super League. I don't know, because I guess he's going to get some good money there. He's always been offered at least. So he'd go well over there if he took the chance and joined, and I guess. And, I think, if he stays at Roosters, it's good for them. But they can't keep him because they're trying to re-sign mine instead. Then, he should go well wherever he goes.
I think Siwa Takiaho would be a great buy for any club. It was this time last year where I touted Siwa Takiaho as the best forward in the game. I believe last year, at the back end of the year, he was the best forward in the competition. I thought he overtook Tamalolo and he was incredible. Now, if he's available, for fuck's sake, the Cowboys have missed out on so many players for next year. It's unbelievable. We need to sign this bloke. Takiaho, he is an elite front rower. He's in the top 5 props in the game. If you're Todd Payton and if you're someone like Tamalolo, who's the captain, you've got to look at him. You've got to do it. I mean, you look at Takiaho, who's an international player. He is such a great player. He can goal kick as well. He's a very, very good player. And I think if you're the Cowboys, you've got to be looking at him. You've got to be offering him a good deal. So if Takiaho is available, come on, Cowboys, pull your finger out of your ass and sign him up because he would be a good addition for any club. But It'll be interesting to see how that situation goes, if the Roosters can re-sign him or not. But I guess we'll soon find out how that goes ahead. But guys, let's get into the round of footy. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through each game, and I'm going to ask you guys, who do you think will win? Give me a margin, say whether it be 1-12 or 13 plus, and just pick an anytime try scorer. I don't care about first try scorers. Just tell me who you think will win the game. Pick whether it be 1-12 or 13 plus, and just give me someone to score at any time of the game. So round 20 of the NRL, fellas. It kicks off tomorrow night at BB Prince Stadium. I believe that's in Mackay. It is the Sydney Roosters up against the Parramatta Eels. The Eels are $1.55 favourites. The Roosters are at $2.45. This game is kicking off at 7:50 p.m. tomorrow night. Hold the ball. Who wins this one tomorrow night, Roosters or Eels?
Look, I've tipped the Roosters for this one here. I reckon 1-12 and anytime try scorer Tedesco.
Oh, nice. Sounds good to me. What about you, NRL Vid 090? Roosters or Eels?
I went Para to win 1-12. Anytime tries scorer, probably Gufferson.
Yeah, that sounds good, bro. Look, I'm going to go the Roosters as well. I think the Roosters will win. I think they've named a pretty good side still. So I'm going to go the Roosters 1-12. Should be a great game. And I reckon Josh Morris will score tomorrow night. I think J-Moz back in the side. I think he can get one as well. So Roosters 1-12. J-Moz to score in that one. Friday night footy kicking off at 6 p.m. It's a doubleheader at Suncorp Stadium. It is the West Tigers up against the New Zealand Warriors. The Tigers are $1.50 favourites. The Warriors at $2.60. We'll start with you. Hold the ball. Tigers, Warriors. Obviously, you're a Warriors fan through and through, but what do you reckon for this one?
Look, yeah, you said it. I'm a Warriors fan through and through. I'm going to hate this one here. I'm going to tip the Tigers here 1-12, and going to go with Mamalo, anytime try scorer.
Oh, that'll hurt you against his old side. What about you, NRL Vid 090? Tigers, Warriors.
Tigers 13 plus. Anytime tries are probably Adam Dewey.
Yep, I like it. Look, I'm going to go to the Tigers 13 plus. I think Tigers will be too good for the Warriors. Warriors have got way too many players out. I want the Warriors to win for RTS, but I think the Tigers at the moment, they were pretty competitive with Manly for mine. So I'm going to go the Tigers 13 plus here. And for a try scorer, I'm going to go, I reckon, Sean Bloor. Sean Bloor to score. I've been hearing a lot about Sean Bloor and that he's fit. So I'm going to go Sean Bloor to score a try and Tigers to win 13 plus Friday night. The other game Friday night, Suncorp Stadium, kicking off at 8:05 p.m. It is the Queensland Derby. It's a blockbuster game. It is the Brisbane Broncos up against my boys, the North Queensland Cowboys. The Broncos are $1.75 favourites. The Cowboys are at juicy odds here at $2.05. Queensland Derby, massive game. Hold the ball, Broncos or Cowboys?
Look, this game here, I'm definitely looking forward to this one for obvious reason. A lot of history in this one here, and you guys won. You guys had the chocolate cookies the first time round. But I'm saying that, look, I'm gonna have to go with the Broncos here. Yeah, I'm gonna go the Broncos 1-12. Anytime try scorer. Look, I reckon Payne Haas for a smoky chance. Sorry about that, bro.
Go on, NRL Vids. Go on. I'm just going to turn away for a minute. Now, go on, NRL Vids. What do you reckon?
But Cowboys. Yeah, I see Cowboys 1-12, and I don't know. Anytime tries, probably Kane Bradley. Why not?
Oh, nice. Oh, look, I tell you what. I can't go the Broncos. Fuck that. Cowboys will win 1-12. Really, really high-scoring game. I'm going to go the Cowboys by 8, 1-12. And for a try scorer, I reckon Kyle Felt will score. And I'm going to go with my man Reece Robson to score. Cowboys 1-12. Come on, the Cowboys. Beat those Broncos scum on Friday night. Big Queensland Derby. Going to be a cracking game. Cannot wait. Let's move on to Super Saturday. Kicking off at 3 p.m. It is the St. George Illawarra Dragons up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Another rivalry game here. Both sides have a lot of history against each other. Souths are $1.05 favourites here. The Dragons are at $9. This game's being played up at Rockhampton, up there in Queensland. HTB, bro, Dragons or Bunnies in this one? What do you reckon?
Look, for me, automatically, I just got to say Bunnies. Rabbitohs to win this game. I think this game will be close, though. Sometimes where the teams that usually have their back up against the wall usually produces more the tighter game. So that's what I'm going with here. Bunnies 1-12, and I reckon definitely Latrell Mitchell or Gagai for anytime try score.
Sounds good. NRL vids, mate. Souths or the Dragons?
Look, South's probably 69 plus. Anytime try scorer, probably Campbell Graham, and I'll chuck in maybe Damien Cook as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Look, I'm with you, NRL vids. I think Souths win and win well. I'm going to go Souths by about 40 plus. And I reckon Cody Walker will get a hat trick. Cody Walker for 3 tries. He'll have a big game. I think it was the Charity Shield earlier in the year where Cody Walker had a hat trick. So I think he'll do it again. Souths will win 40 plus. Cody Walker for man of the for 3 tries. I should say. Saturday night, 5:30 p.m. up at Suncorp Stadium. Another doubleheader. It is the Newcastle Knights up against the Canberra Raiders. The Raiders are $1.65 favourites here. Newcastle at $2.25. 5:30 Saturday night. This is a very, very big game of footy, this one. Very important game. 9 versus 11 on the ladder. Hold the ball, mate. What do you reckon here, Knights and the Raiders?
Look, I'm going here. Raiders 13 plus. Anytime try scorer, I reckon chuck in Whiten.
Oh, I like it. I really like it. NRL vids, mate. Knights and the Raiders.
If Mitchell Pearce does play, I think Knights will win pretty well. I think Knights win 13 plus and Mitchell Pearce plays. But if he doesn't, probably Canberra. But either way, I'll sit Newcastle as a win. Yeah, 13 plus. And anytime try scorer, Josh Papali'i.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. Well, yeah, tough one to pick this one. But I'm still not convinced by the Raiders. So I'm going to go Newcastle 1-12. And I reckon Mitchell Barnett will score a try in this game. Mitchell Barnett will score at any time. I really like Mitch Barnett. When he's playing back row, man, he is an absolute nightmare full of defence. So Knights 1-12 and Barnett will score a try at any stage of the game. The other game Saturday night at Suncorp Stadium, the doubleheader. It's an absolute blockbuster. Well, it's supposed to be. It's the Melbourne Storm up against the Penrith Panthers. This game is on Saturday night at 7:35 p.m. Melbourne are $1.15 favourites. Penrith are at $5.50. Penrith have got a lot of players out. Melbourne are getting a lot of their players back. 1 versus 2 on the ladder. Grand final rematch. Hold the ball, mate. What do you think about this one here, Melbourne and Penrith?
Yeah, look, this is the game where it sort of shows us where the Penrith are in terms of heart. Obviously, they've got a lot of people stripped, taken off in this game, as you've mentioned, injuries and all. But we're going to see what they're really worth, all right? In saying that, I'm full of upsets here, so I've just tipped the Panthers here in this game here. I think it'll be a close encounter, 1-12, anytime try scorer. I'm going to go with Kiko.
Oh, I like it. Panthers for the upset. Why not? Fuck Melbourne. I'm with you. No one likes Melbourne. NRL vid 090, mate. What do you think for this one?
Storm 1-12. There should be 2 and tries. Probably Remus.
Yep. Nah, sounds good. So yeah, look, I'm gonna go Melbourne, unfortunately. 13 plus. I don't see Penrith winning without all their big name players. So I'll go Melbourne 13 plus here, and I think Josh Adokar will score 2 tries, and I'm also going to predict that Felice Kafusi will get knocked out by Viliami Kikau. Well, anyway, I'm hoping that happens. I can't stand Kafusi. Someone take him out, for fuck's sake. Anyway, we'll move on to Sunday footy, kicking off at 2 p.m. up at Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. It is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs up against the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans are $1.25 favourites here. The Bulldogs at $4. HTB, mate, what do you reckon for this one? Doggies and the Titans.
Look, I'm going to go with the Titans here just based on that momentum that they displayed against the Dragons, beating them, 32 points to 10. For me personally, Titans 13 plus, anytime try scorer. Well, I can't go past David Fifita.
Yep, no, sounds good. NRL Vids, what do you reckon?
Titans win easy, 13 plus, at least 4 points where the Bulldogs can't. So I think Titans win easy, and anytime try scorer, I'm going to go with Brian Kelly.
Sounds good. Look, I was really tempted to go the Dogs. I was really tempted, but I'm going to go the Gold Coast here, 1-12. Bulldogs have been okay the last 3 weeks, and they've been showing some really good signs, even though they've been beaten in all 3 games against Roosters, Souths, and Cronulla. But I'm going to go the Titans 1-12, and you know what? I reckon Tino Fasua Malawi will score. Tino to score for the Titans, and Titans to win 1-12. And the final game of the round, Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. up there at Redcliffe. It is the Battle of the Beaches, another rivalry game here. The Cronulla Sutherland Sharks up against the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. HTB, what do you reckon here, bro? Cronulla versus Manly.
Look, I can't go past Manly's hot form at the moment, obviously. They probably took out more of that win against Tigers than most teams usually would. Even, I reckon they'll be better for it. Look, Manly for me, I reckon, 13 plus. Anytime try score, I've got to go with Saab.
Yeah, I like that one. NRL Viz, mate, your boys, the Seagulls, up against one of your rivals, the Sharkies. Mate, what do you reckon for this one? Cronulla versus Manly.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I feel like Manly have been smashing teams the last couple of weeks, but I don't think we're actually going to smash Cronulla. It'll be probably like a 1-12 probably scoreline, I reckon. So I think Manly will win by 1-12, and anytime try scorer, I reckon Josh.
Yeah, sounds good. Look, if Sean Johnson was playing, I would have been tempted to go Cronulla, but I just feel Manly. That'll be too good. Turbo, DCE, Kieran Foran, Schuster's there. Sheridan's back on the bench. I think the Manly will be a little bit too good. So I'm going to go Manly 13 plus, but between that 16 to 20 point sort of margin. Not a big fraction, but 13 plus for mine. Seagulls to win. I reckon Turbo will get 1 try, and I reckon Ola Kawatu will score. I'm really liking Ola Kawatu. He's a very, very good player. But, guys, before we get out of here, if there's one game that you would put your house on this week that you guarantee that one team will win, who would you put your house on to win this weekend? What about HTB? Who would you put your house on to win this week?
Yeah, look, the HTB guarantee is the Raiders win, so there you go.
Oh, shit. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. NRL Vid 090, what's your guarantee of the week?
I think it's Tigers to Warriors. I'm sorry, H, hold the ball.
All right, fair enough. My the Nick from Australia guarantee of the week: Cowboys to beat the Broncos on Friday night, and Ash Taylor to have 5 missed tackles, 2 times he kicks the ball dead, 4 knock-ons. That's my Nick from Australia guarantee of the week. But guys, that's it for the round of footy. And that's it for the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, episode number 17. If you guys enjoyed the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, then make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Go and subscribe to the YouTube channel of HTB. Hold the ball. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Make sure you guys go and check out NRL Vid 090 if you haven't already. Guys, we're getting out of here. Have a fantastic Wednesday night. It's now 7:35 p.m. We're getting out of here. Have a good night, fellas, and we'll see you guys in the next one.